We're actually ground zero for the effects of climate change here in South Florida. Hi guys. Good, good. How long have you been doing this? Tell me that.
38 years.
And have you seen any significant changes because of changes in our environment, in the water, climate change? How do you think
with the hotter water, you know, and the more frequent storms too. About 10 years ago, it'd probably be in the like 85 to 87. Mm-hmm. Now I've seen water temperatures the past couple of years like 93 in the summertime here.
What we're seeing here now, these increased water temperatures, the poor water quality laden with phosphates and so forth from farm runoff are sparking horrific algal blooms and also moss accumulations and so forth. Long term, we're concerned about spiny lobsters making a migration and perhaps moving up the eastern coast or further north into the Gulf of Mexico. And that could be problematic because right now here in Monroe County in the Florida Keys, we produce about 85% to 90% of the spiny lobster harvest in the state of Florida and the United States. These resulting algal blooms destroy the oxygen content of the water, resulting in these horrific fish kills as we've seen just in the past several weeks.
Our entire livelihood here in the Florida Keys depends on a healthy environment. Millions and millions of dollars of our economy depends on exporting spiny lobsters, fishing, tourism. Millions of tourists come down to the Florida Keys to snorkel, to go scuba diving. If they see that our waters are infested with this green and blue algae, with fish kills that we haven't seen in the history of living here in South Florida, people are not going to come down. Do you think that because of the rising temperature in the oceans, you've seen like a decline?
No, there's not a decline in the lobsters. I noticed how their patterns have changed. They stay more out in the deeper water. Like they're in here in the summertime early, and then when the water gets hot, they migrate out to the deeper water. So we have to readjust our fishing methods. And as soon as this temperature starts going up higher and higher, they move out. Yep, because it's too hot. And that's what happened with the fish. See, those fish up in Miami had no place to go. Down here, they can migrate out because they have enough oxygen and then get out to where they need to be. But that area up there was so impacted, oxygen went out so bad, they didn't have a place to go.
I know.
Yep.
It's so tragic to see that.
Yep.
In Monroe County, we have seen stronger storms. We have seen higher king tides that last longer than we've seen before. The ocean is getting warmer and it's causing acidification in our ocean, bleaching. We've seen our coral reefs being affected by the high rise in temperature in our oceans. We have a lot of issues also with the way that the sea levels are rising, affecting our water septic tanks. We have leaking septic tanks all over Miami-Dade County that needs to be addressed because when you combine warming of the oceans, more contaminants in the water, it produces algae blooms. We really don't have the luxury of time at this point. We have to take action. The seagrass is dying, we're losing marine life, and our entire livelihood depends on a healthy environment, clean water, clean air, and it's something that we have to tackle right away. Seventy 70% of the people that live in my district are Hispanic, 12 to 13% African Americans, and because of COVID, we have seen a high rise in numbers, a higher mortality rate, and it's because there are working families or essential workers that have had to continue working despite this pandemic and have not gotten the appropriate resources. And it's the same thing when you see the environmental impacts in these lower income areas. We've seen climate gentrification, and as we also see sea level rise and people having to leave these coastal communities, it'll be the wealthier people that will be able to invest in resilient infrastructure. And so we have to deal with these economic disparities and the disparities that communities of color face, both during a pandemic and also dealing with the threat of climate change.